This week the nipa baako a wo trende Godfred Dame na ne na ejina said in Atamaklo ne case no eso no mama wati ase the first day me read the judgment no the question I may be saying is for me two people, the judge and then Godfred Dame me they say and the Ghana for bebrina have seen that, and then a lot of people are questioning Godfred Dame who say Ghana for question no or the statement about Betuja. Now I want us to go through Godfred Dami's statements about the about Betuja so that we also try to because assemble there also utie ni patronins on the side. Inti yenko tie Godfred Dame semwa or the Atuja. And then first time we have subscribe, click the notification bell so. Oya latest news be about Unsabekam. This video is kindly sponsored by Corporate Logistica. Omo vehicle management company ewa Ghana ha. Mama we futu na mesanso ama obiom se wo pay investment aye ewo Ghana ha misrel sa car sa kese no because I short it o de ba ejuma wo ho o de car ne ba don't stress yourself. Farmer Corporate Logistica omo ankasa be ye maintenance o car ne ho omo ankasa be pay driver maka. In fact omo be manage car ne bibia na wa car ne ye ode no every month omo ma wa ketua 2 times 0598022033 for Corporate Logistica na oni omo entwetwe nkomo now yen konsem ni mu o say to all media houses, press release. Acquittal and discharge. Acquittal and discharge of said in Atamaklo Ationu false and misleading comments. The beso say ye chantro afa asem no ye de intro bi to ne so or be church ensem ni mu. Or say I have become aware of false and devious narrative being churned out by communicators of the National Democratic Congress and other agents and hirelings of the government in a bid to shift the blame for the acquittal of Madam Sedina Tamaklo Ationu onto the Akufo-Addo government and principally my good self as the immediate past Attorney General and Minister for Justice. What say NDC for any Nkrophobia abino abo mo pa ayese wo mu twa to ne so say said in Atamaklo case no ye de ni na beto no so no na wanye adwuma ye Akufo-Addo na anye adwuma ye ene kon he on so yeso assembling. Also the relevant record speaks for itself and will always vindicate. 1. No notice of an appeal filed by said in Atamaklo in 2024 came to the attention of the office of the Attorney General in my tenure. So the first statement are Godfred Dame Editu Jano, it should expose him. Or say, said in Atamaklo 2024 appeal our file or no the amount beton him. That is what Godfred Dame is saying. But Godfred Dame was the Attorney General. Said in previous as said in Atamaklo file appeal. And yes, said in Atamaklo ne also the appeal no kokoto no Godfred Dame name. Yen sa. Or no said in Atamaklo ne di obene so be file appeal no. Send ye be do Attorney General when him ne die ye wo adwuma. Or say appeal na ma meto nanim. But in the first video I me posting no, ye ni na ye hu documents court stamp eboswa etrese 2024 said in Atamaklo file appeal. You see, for this it exposes the MPP because Emra ruling in by no. Now MPP for Edenam say NDC by and I said in Atamaklo ye didn't ban and see an file for appeal no. And the file for appeal and see an ye no. But with this statement, Godfred Dame is confirming say indeed said in Atamaklo file appeal no 2024 just that was a man meton him. Now yen to aso. Or see state attorneys in both oral and written submissions indicated this fact to the Court of Appeal in April 2026 that they had not been served with a notice of the appeal and that they became aware of the proceedings only after the Court of Appeal directed the parties to file their written submissions. 2. In any event, even if an appeal was filed by Sedina Ationu in 2024, it is completely immaterial because no further step was taken by her as the accused / appellant until the NDC came back to power. Thus, the Republic had to do nothing in 2024 in terms of the conduct of that appeal. Osi o, nem put the appeal na ma beto manim, but the appeal no kra ba beto manim kra na. Eno na enye no ho asem ne yeka. Because from 2024, said in Atamaklo na nkasa no wanya hwe. NDC ba mu na nsen ya no. And I said in Atamaklo, de ne ho be case nim because for 2024 no when take action bia. That is what Godfred Dame is saying. I say what I, as the Attorney General, who had superintended a successful prosecution, had to do was to ensure that the convicted person, Sedina Tamaklo, was brought to Ghana to serve the sentence lawfully passed by the High Court of Ghana. I thus took the important step to pursue an extradition request. The competence of my extradition request was upheld in the order of the United States District Court of Nevada on 9th April 2026, which confirmed the extradition and committed Ms. Ationu to custody pending her extradition by the Secretary of State. Now, Godfred Dame is saying, say, onone de no also ye say, wama Sedina Tamaklo ya china atum ana ya sentence no ono de wewie na adwuma. Afi de na wo hwe ene say obe extradite Sedina Tamaklo na oye extradition request so. Na esanso ye na adwuma ye ni nti no extradition request no it went through ema eye America ban esomu ema ende omo extradite Sedina Tamaklo ede na ye den ede na bagana. Me hu ne say some MPP fon se mo kan say mo se Sedina Tamaklo case na ye di ye no appeals court abo asem nego now so enye the same case eso ena Godfred Dame de ye extradition no. So if the same case is able to bring her back for extradition, why is it that that same case in the appeals court abo in same nego? And this is where I want to explain the technicalities behind. Now the extradition request na ye no e dey come America for no they are not looking into the evidence of why Sedina Tamaklo yamano sa ruling say onkonko dem 10 years dabi. I don't know whether you understand. Inti mami breaking it down at here. Yemfa ne say ye de ato so say we akokɔ na we akokɔ no we dwane okay uye ye de ato obi so right me ya na me pese me ba ye de ato obi so say obi ewi akokɔ ena nipa kro no ye pese ye chi no inti area fo ne ko nipa kro ne fie no we dwane akwakohye obi fie right now okoko du nipa kro ne fie no ena enkrofo no mo pese mo chine no eba no mo ka tre no say asumesi we wi akokɔ. At that point no America for ena wo wakwakohye omu fie ho omo de ne say yesi nipa kro we wi akokɔ we wi akokɔ na waba be hye me fie ene eje monye no na momfa ne nkɔ ena ojae omo ema omo a omo hwehwe no no ene ye Ghana. Now in the extradition process no America ni no and America for na nye omo adwen say mo evidence wen mon treme akokɔ no oba be fa we hin oba be ye de na maintenance na me hu say indeed o wi akokɔ na na say we wi akokɔ no. At that point no America for no e de ne say if Ghana's court of competent jurisdiction rule say Sedina Tamaklo abokro no enti yenchi ntum 10 years there yen America for it is out of our jurisdiction say yen go share evidence nim appeals court no hwe evidence nim a wo say evidence amode chi nipa kro ne tu mu no enye papa but America no need 2 minutes so be evidence nim because enye ono ne man so eni edi case no ti omo ka say. And I see that Godfred Dame is also saying the same thing or no because na asem ye den inti an America for etumi extradite Sedina Tamaklo, but America for extradite Sedina Tamaklo because of the court ruling. They didn't extradite Sedina Tamaklo because of ebia evidence. So more share evidence the man so more extradite no because there was a court ruling and it was competent. Even up to that point and the ye hu say court ruling ne kra na nyanse nim no at that point it was competent and America for no couldn't say anything. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you get the point. And you see that Godfred Dame is sort of also trying to say the same thing here. And say throughout the Sedina extradition proceedings, which commenced in July 2024 and concluded in April 2026, no mention was made of an appeal filed by Sedina Ationu in 2024 against her judgment, not even in the processes filed by Sedina herself in the U.S. District Court. But you see, this is what Godfred Dame needs to understand. The fact that Sedina Tamaklo is not saying anything about the appeal does not negate the fact that she appealed in 2024. Like, I don't understand. Obia wako court bia no kan ho asem. People go to court and they say, the matter is in court. I don't want to talk about it. And so if you want to make your point, say, and said na tamaklo kra ye chinaba no, so no kra wan kan appeal ho asem. Enya about the obeka ho. There na document ne tre. Document ne tre say wa file court process. Or kan wan kan. That is the fact. Wa file court process. She does not need to say it to prove that indeed wa file it. So for me, that point does not really hold water. But anyway, Godfred Dame na altering in him and so. I say lawyers for Sedina Tamaklo and Sedina Ationu only obtained leave from the Court of Appeal to file written submissions on 10 February 2026 and proceeded to file the said written submissions on 12 February 2026. At this time, I was not in office as the Attorney General. My understanding is that the prosecuting state attorneys were surprised when they were served with the written submissions of the accused appellant on 16 February 2026 because they had no prior notice of the pendency of any proceedings. Nonetheless, they put together written submissions in opposition to the appeal and applied to leave from the Court of Appeal to file same, which they did on 9th April 2026. In their written submissions, the principal state attorney repeated her complaints about an incomplete record of appeal, an omission from the record of all the exhibits tendered by the prosecution at the trial, and the fact that they became aware of the instant proceeding after the court had directed the parties to file their written submissions. The Court of Appeal, presided over by Her Ladyship Mensa Jata J.E., proceeded to inquire into the fundamental matters raised by the state attorneys, which affected the court's jurisdiction to determine Ms. Ationu's appeal, by ordering that 3 volumes of the record of appeal, which the Republic did not have access to at the time it filed its written submission, be given to the Republic. This was done. The matter was adjourned. After a perusal, the Republic applied for an inclusion into the record of appeal of 3 documents. This application was granted on 28th May 2026, and the matter was adjourned to 17th June 2026. In all of this, I was not the Attorney General. On 17th June 2026, a different panel of the Court of Appeal presided over by Ankama J.E. sat on the matter for the first time and adjourned for judgment. The public opprobrium and rejection of the acquittal and discharge of Sedina Tamaklo Ationu are merited considering the cogent evidence led at the trial, which enjoyed massive media coverage and was thus easy for all to appreciate. The development is consistent with the predilection of the Attorney General to discontinue all cases which were being prosecuted against leading members and affiliates of the NDC. It's marks of an orchestration to clear the lady of her felonious acts and highlights the growing perception of Ghana's current justice system. 2 sets of law for 2 sets of people. Equality before the law exists only in theory and is not lived practically. The Sedina scandal is the closest Ghana has been to reenactment of the Woyomi scandal. And so here, Godfred Dame is trying as much as possible to say, in the case we know, and in all what Godfred Dame is saying, what I wish say Godfred Dame or release statement we ebe can say obe addressing the judgment. It looks like Godfred Dame is not addressing the judgment. It looks like he's running away from the judgment. Because in some work and you make dates ena appeal no kra no yet say de meti ene say omo hyase da we ene appeal no kra no 2024 ene say ye de appeal ne ba me de me hu hwe man tehwe court kra no na aban kra no aye shock say na mo da be na mo ya appeals ba ene ye de ma judge ene ye de ma judge no ena judge ne ba no ene omo ma rule later kra na ba be hu so omo age ni case no ene ye ka say enyama ni bia era omo famra be hyemu ene omo de ba be hyemu ne kra no me kra de mate ene say de course ni de mate ne say de aban ye ni na me de enya me wanwa because NDC aban ne baaye no omo nkrofo bi a na nka ye pese ye chi omo tum no omo discontinue case no enti me de me hu ne say we ye NDC for na ye ende wo yo me na ko he ende ko he na baaye Godfred Dame nsem a wo kan no nini na no he's running away from the judgment, the main issues. Embra na me di case no na Ghana media no kan wan sempa nti enye ende na mo ba betre say media case no me ndi ne papa evidence am de ba de na ye papa Godfred Dame nsem a wo kan asem a Godfred Dame kan no nini na no nti case ne kra later ene ba be sesa panel ye ba be sesa judges ati case ne so ene did new judges ba na judges no di omo ruling na ba. But at the end of the day, no, nini na atre say Ghana ha yeti nkrofo mienu ena ete ha. Uye NDC ni a embra ye di buma ye different. Uye NPP ni nso embra ye di buma ye different. Na nini na me de betu NDC for so NDC for na ye ade we NDC for na ye NDC for na ye. Ende Ghana for bu fudia ye fanshe NDC. Godfred Dame nsem a wo kan ni nani. What of the main issues? Judgment na judges no. Akano. Why are you not addressing them? Oh, ebia judge say Godfred Dame wanye we juma ye. Because mudi ato maamene so. It's part of the ruling. Mudi ato maamene so say 500,000 Ghana cedis we are because or the sabosiano kokoma company be a friend of Batampa. Or Batampa for some pesicani bium. Into Batampa penny ni the sikani babishiano. Ewo bacho na Shell filling station. Judge asemo a wo kan say nipa kro na wo se odi sika ne ba be hia maame no o se won ne maame ne kasa wo WhatsApp so nanso court no wentumi en show WhatsApp message e tre say indeed okoko hia maame no e ma ne maame ne twetwe nkomo wo WhatsApp so e ma indeed odi sika ne kokko hia no because it's the woman's words against that of Obatampa wo ye wo Godfred Dame wo witness maame ne se me ngi sika bia Obatampa ni nzo se me di sika na kwa akoma no Obatampa no ye bisa no say o evidence wen o si o answer na me de sika ne koma maame no ye kasa e wo WhatsApp so ema o kire me say me mbehia no wa hanfa sika ne ma no ye kire nipa kro no wo court say Godfred Dame say nipa kro no say o kasa wo court a kire yen WhatsApp message no wentumi antre judge say wo Godfred Dame wanya de say wentumi antre WhatsApp messages are indeed e kire say maami o ka kire nipa kro so nhia no fa sika ne ma no na nke no wa address say oh WhatsApp messages na bia judge ne boa and na bia indeed WhatsApp messages de nti ayentumi antre kra ne say ye nipa no ni phone ba be yirae enti entumi retrieve. But if indeed you were serious and it happens in America, you know, they are able to retrieve, even if it is deleted, they are able to retrieve records. So if indeed you are serious about this, you could have, you know, even flown to WhatsApp and, you know, gotten a court order. Because Ghana has said, Obi Wawa, MTN, you know, you are able to get a court order from MTN because Ebiana Obi Akwakoye Bonibi, now so friend nipa krono and a record no ye pesi enya free MTN. No, that you get a court order from MTN, you go to MTN, they will retrieve the core history for you. So Godfred Dame could have done that. Gotten a court order to get the records from WhatsApp. Even if it is deleted, WhatsApp will still retrieve it. And then you get it in court. But you didn't get all these things. You didn't address it. Mose ni pakro no ye di sika man se won fan konkom adwadifo. Sika na nkwa nkodru. Judge asemo a wo kan say at least na nka say adwadifo no mumfa bi mbom pra court. Emetre say sika indeed yen sanka. Mumfa coordinators, mass law coordinators or other regions no embra court emetre say indeed mami wa man sika mo anya sa anyama ni na nke bia wa address say oh de enti a ya anya nini enkrofo no mo beso mbeba obi a no musuru ana say ni say anya sa anyama ni na. So it looks like Godfred Dame is running away from the judgment and just addressing the dates. And the dates no na year way media men put the na meaning so mo ya appeal and appeal no mo ye kra no. How is this? How does this mean you are clearing your name? Ewie Katre Ghana for say Ghanaians ought to demand more from government which set out after inauguration to discontinue all criminal cases pending again. But you see, Godfred Dame, what you are saying, you know, is this case, in this case, has government discontinued it? It looks like the appeals court has ruled on this case. They've acquitted and discharged Mekramenya lawyer no metiasie. And so if you are speaking as if say Abina what discontinued case we are, technically Abina in discontinued case we. So what are you saying? Say government needs to demand the NNN for this Abina because more discontinued cases involving NDC4. Did Abina discontinue this case? No. But you are a lawyer and you know this. So why are you diverted? A justice system in which political friends face no accountability. Anyway, so this is Godfred Dame and this is Nensemwa or Detuja. I don't know, but anyway, for me, I think like Godfred Dame is running away from the judgment, and you can clearly see, right? Clearly. Ghana ni bia wutie me no book we eye asset ba ko a e wo se wo keep e wo fie to book we ma wo ho to ma wo ba to ma obi biara osombo e wo wabrabo mu wadamfo obi a opese odiye wabrabo mu bia no to sa book we your friend the Ghanaian investor na sa book we be show different forms of investment a obetumi aye e wo Ghana ha licensed investments. The first one e ya de bia your friend emergency fund. Book we bet show send you set up emergency fund. Abrabo aye boy bibia betumi ato. If you have an emergency fund, ebeba na aba be save you. Oka betumi asay wo kwan so. Obetumi ayare, oba betumi ayare, nini na emergency fund no ebe take control of all those situations. Book no besan so atre wade bia ye fe na endowment fund. A obetumi dia protect wo ho any future. Na sa endowment fund no nyame mpengu Ukokonya accident na untumi nye ejuma bioma, it will take care of you for the rest of your life. Book no besan so atrel senya obe set up a personal pension fund. Enkrofo bebre eye ejuma wie ekọ retirement omukọ retirement we are no mo ho aba betwe mo. O set up a personal pension fund. That will not be your case. Most importantly, book we betray how to invest in the Ghana Stock Exchange. Now Ghana Stock Exchange investment basically it means you are buying ownership of Ghanaian companies. Now Ghana Stock Exchange it is one of the best performing markets in the whole world. A lot of people are making money from the Ghana Stock Exchange, but they don't know how to invest in it. Bookwe ebetro sadie no. Your investment be why your friend mutual fund. Bookwe betro how to invest in a mutual fund. Now mutual fund you don't need to be rich to invest in a mutual fund. I remember an example. Yan fan say wa woba fresh. Now wa per license mutual fund e Ghana ha say opese odi usikashim. Say o to me invest 500 cedis every single month. E a Ghanaian mutual fund mo. By the time I will be 19 years now I done a millionaire. Yan fan say o fa CB we did 10. Opese da chi bi odi every month for 500 cedis e mutual fund mo e mano. By the time I will bano and I will fast no obedi 29 years no na oye millionaire. Wankasa wutie me we di 40. Now so wo hwa onye investment bia eno ane say obeye mutual fund every month for 500 cedis e shem. By the time obedi 59 years no na wenya 1 million Ghana cedis. Into mutual fund that is how it works. Small money every single month. By the time embre ebebano nesikano ayekese book we betro sanya mani na sa ope book no ni PDF anase ni twi video a free anase WhatsApp number na ewo book ni so sisia
Now say we Ghana ni na wa brochure. Now pay hard copy of the book. A very simple call Amazon. Now search for the Ghanaian investor. Place the order. Baby will be a best shape. Eddie Abreu. Medasi.